What's up guys, today in this video we're going to be talking about the pros and cons of adopting a dog. So if you guys know and you watch the videos, you guys will know that Cammy was adopted. I found Cammy last year. Cammy is a pit bull mix. I brought her to a shelter after I found her on the side of the road, and as soon as I could, I adopted her. It was less than a week, and then she became mine. Now before Cammy, I had my dog Cyber. Cyber was from a breeder. Cyber is a purebred Doberman pinscher. I got him from a reputable breeder. That means he's not from a backyard breeder. I only support dog breeding if it's from a reputable breeder. Now, some background information about me as to why I wanted to go with a dog breeder originally compared to adopting a dog. Now, one of those reasons was I was scared of not knowing the dog's past. I knew for sure that I wanted a Doberman, but I was kind of on the fence between, raising one from a puppy versus adopting. So the first reason, like I said earlier, was not knowing that Doberman's past. I didn't want to, be putting my clothes away and I take out a hanger and that Doberman that I adopted used to get beat by its past owner by a hanger and then it just attacks me. I also had the mindset that getting a puppy seemed easier to train just because it's like a blank slate during this it's a pretty, critical period when you're raising this dog. It's a baby, it takes a lot of time. Speaking of time, I have had Cammy for over a year now, and my perspective on this whole situation has definitely changed a lot, actually. And if you're thinking about adopting a dog in this video, I want to try to help you out and try to tell you some pros and cons of what it's like adopting a dog. So let's start with the cons. Adopting a dog can be really pricey, especially if this dog is an older dog. I would really recommend to get some pet insurance or at least have, lots of money saved for any medical emergencies because you really never know what's going to happen. You also might run into some problems you didn't know about. Now, this goes with a warning. No dog is perfect, but you need to choose your battles as to what you're going to deal with. Some examples of this is maybe the dog will bark too much. Maybe the dog will have separation anxiety. Maybe the dog will be aggressive towards same-sex dogs. You just never know what you're getting. Sometimes these dogs can take a lot of time for training, and, that's just time you have to set aside for training these dogs to make sure that your relationship is as good as possible. And if you travel, which I hope you're not because COVID, but let's say you are traveling right now, and you have to go out of town and you can't bring your dog. Well, you're going to have to pay someone to look after your dog. The dog is not going to feed itself and let itself outside. You got to have someone taking care of your dog. Now, this kind of goes off of my previous point, but some odd quirks dogs could have. This is just an example, is maybe they're scared of men. Maybe they're hard to potty train. Maybe they have poor manners. This is another thing you probably shouldn't be doing because COVID, but you will have to cut dates short. And that kind of means, you can't stay overnight at their place spontaneously. You can't have a spontaneous weekend getaway, nothing like that. Now, the next one on the list is definitely my number one for the biggest con of when it comes to adopting a dog. This is absolutely by far the biggest one. And that is not knowing them, their first years of their life. Cammy is around 9 years old, and it sucks. I can't be there or see the first 8 to 9 years of her life, but at the same time, that's what brought her to me because, she was in an obviously bad situation before, and, I would hate to see whatever happened to her, but it happened for a reason because now she's with me. But I do think often about, what was she like as a puppy? And I'll never know, but I know deep down that she was, the cutest puppy around who gave the most kisses and loved to chase toys and play tug. But, I'll never be able to get to see that. And it kind of just makes me appreciate, the time I have spent with her just a lot more because at least now I can see her in the present moment. All right, that was depressing. Let's move on to the pros of adopting an adult dog. I'm assuming if you're adopting a dog, it's not going to be like an 8-week or 10-week-old puppy, but you never know. Every situation is different, so this is just really for adult dogs. So let's go through the list. So if you adopt a dog, most likely they're going to be through the chewing stage, and that is definitely a pro because I have lost a lot of items. I have paid for a lot of items for people. Cyber has chewed a roommate's friend's glasses that I had to pay $20 for, And this was because, you know, he was a puppy and he would get into anything. And that's just a responsibility you will most likely not have to deal with. You know, you're not going to have to be scanning the floor 24/7 to make sure no valuable items are on the ground that are going to get chewed up by a curious puppy or anything like that. Another thing on the list is you will most likely not need to deal with the whole potty training phase, you know, compared to if you were to get a puppy. And I know earlier I said you might have, you know, trouble with training this dog that you adopt with, you know, bathroom issues. But like I said, it does depend on the dog. Some dogs you will need to try extra hard when it comes to potty training, and some dogs will know exactly what to do. I got really lucky when I brought Cammy home because she knew exactly what to do. There's only one time we ever had an accident in the house, and I don't even blame her because Cammy was on a medicine for, you know, a medical issue that she was having at the time, and that just made her go to the bathroom easier, so that was not Cammy's fault. But other than that, you know, she's never peed in the house, and that is amazing because I've had many issues with Cyber because I raised him from a puppy with potty training. The final one I have on this list of the pros is that most likely their temperament is going to be more calm because that dog is, you know, in the older age now and it's not in that puppy energetic stage. I also want to talk about these pros, which is pretty much a pro list of Cammy. I loved being able to see Cammy's transformation over the time that I had her since I adopted her. Her skin is by far 100% better and her behavior is getting better. She is definitely dog aggressive, but now it's slowly fading. I don't think it's ever going to 100% go away, but now she doesn't lunge on dogs walking across the side of the street or anything like that. So that's definitely an improvement. Cammy is the most loving dog I've ever seen. I wouldn't know this if I didn't adopt her. You know, she learned a lot of things faster than Cyber when it comes to the rules of the house. She was also overall cheaper than Cyber in terms of the upfront cost and overall money spent on food. So now that you got the pros and cons of adopting a dog, let's do some reflection. All right, let's ask ourselves some questions, and let me just state this. Before adopting a dog, I highly advise you guys to make a mental list of all the issues that you can't handle or won't be willing to train in a dog. These things can be barking, chewing, house breaking, aggression, maybe resource guarding. Whatever you 100% know you don't want to deal with, write that down, because you can bring this list to the adoption center. If you pick out a dog and you want to make sure that this dog is going to be for you, you give them this list so this dog doesn't have any of these issues. You don't want this dog coming back, all right? If this dog is getting adopted, I want you guys to have the mindset that you're going to have this dog for the rest of its life, because that should be the case. I think it would be highly irresponsible for any of you guys to adopt a dog and then later on have to bring it back because you didn't do the research. Now, let's ask ourselves some more questions to make sure we're ready for this. Ask yourself, how would you deal with behavior issues? What energy level in a dog are you looking for? Do you want the dog to be a lazy couch potato? Do you want the dog to be athletic? Or do you want the dog wanting to play but it knows when to chill? For what reason would you return this dog? If something happened to you, who would take care of your dog? If you have to move to a place that doesn't allow pets, what will happen to your dog? What would cause you to not want to adopt a specific dog after meeting them? What do you feel is an appropriate amount of time for a dog to adjust with life with you? What would you do if your vet diagnosed an expensive medical condition any time during the life of your dog? These questions are extremely important to ask yourself because they pretty much show you if you're set up for success when it comes to adopting a dog. Guys, if you're going to adopt and not shop, that's awesome, but make sure you're adopting a dog that suits your lifestyle. You want to give this dog the best rest of its life as possible. And if you're ready for that, please make sure you pick the right dog. You want to give this dog the best rest of its life. So please make sure you're ready for this, because if you're adopting a dog, it's a huge responsibility. I just can't imagine that dog's face if it has to be rehomed or brought back once again, you know, who knows how many times, because we don't know this dog's past. So if this dog was given up 10 times and then you give it up the 11th time, you should have done your research. If you guys ask yourself these questions and you're honest with yourself, you should know if you're ready for this, okay? Thank you so much for watching the video. I appreciate it. Thank you for letting me talk about my babies. If you want to know more, subscribe, hit that like button, comment. Do it all. Show some love. Appreciate you guys. See ya. All right, y'all. Like every Vlogmas, we have an item to open up today from our Advent calendar. Cyber's already ready. He's looking for number 8. Is he going to be able to find it? Hey, try looking into this one, Cyber. Touch this one. Oh, he got it. He touched this one right here. I don't know if I got it on camera. But here you go, Cyber. That's yours. Here. There you go. There she goes. Go in the crate. Cammy, go in the crate. Go, go, go. Go in the crate. What you doing? Hey, no, you have to wait for number 9 for tomorrow. Okay? Y'all know how early in the video I was talking about dogs being done in the chewing stages? Looks like Cyber isn't. Merry Christmas to me. Goodbye. Yeah, it does look like snow though.